Hi, everybody. It's Jeff Gayduk here from Leisure Group Travel and happy to be with you again today for another Friday Fam. With me is Rachel MaGee from Hudson County, New Jersey. Rachel, how you doing today?
Hi, Jeff. Thank you so much for having me. We're really excited about being able to keep in touch with everyone, even though we're unable to travel this year.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I know you guys have got a lot of exciting things going on, and certainly people miss the greater New York City area. And we're going to spend some time talking about what you guys offer on your side of the river today. So, why don't we go ahead and get started with today's presentation?
Okay, great. And that being said, there's a lot of things that have happened here since probably the last time we spoke with some operators. So I'm happy to share some information with you guys.
All right, so I guess starting out here, Rachel, what are we looking at in the background?
What we are looking at here is our crown jewel, which is the Liberty State Park. And it is situated in Jersey City, which is pretty much the southern tip of our downtown. And it has the most impeccable waterfront views of both lower Manhattan. And then you can also see parts of Ellis Island and the Statue of Liberty all in this like one small area.
Nice, nice. So for those that are unfamiliar with Hudson County, talk about your location.
Okay, so pretty much, I don't know if people always understand this, but we are the 12 cities, and there are a couple cities that are on the waterfront and then a couple that are not. But we are the 12 cities that overlook Manhattan, and that iconic view that you always see of the skyline of Manhattan, that is actually from Hudson County.
Gotcha. So you can fly into New York coming in there, or Newark, excuse me, which has got to be super convenient.
Right.
If groups are going to be doing Manhattan-based attractions, which I would anticipate a little bit at least, although we want to keep them in Hudson County. Short ferry ride, so pretty easy to get in and out based on traffic.
Yes, extremely easy. Most of the transportation options are 15 minutes or less if you're taking the tunnel or the ferry or our path train, which is like our subway system on this side, which connects to Manhattan. Also, the buses are super easy to go in and out if you want to go to Penn Station, which would take you, down into Times Square.
All right, so let's talk about some of the major attractions that you guys have in Hudson County. I guess starting with the Grammy Museum.
Okay, the Grammy Museum is actually in downtown Newark, and they are a neighbor of ours in Hudson County. So we do a lot of collaborating with them as far as marketing. And so this Grammy Museum, I believe, is the only one in the country, and it holds tons of memorabilia, and it's very interactive, and you can go there and sample some of the music that is there and also see some of the collections of outfits from some of your favorite musicians.
Cool, cool. Liberty Science Center, I know, has been a mainstay for so many groups for years, student groups, adult groups as well. What's the experience like there?
The Liberty Science Center has done a lot of renovations in the last couple years, and they have updated their dome to be a planetarium. It used to show IMAX movies. Now it is a planetarium, and it's the largest planetarium in the Western Hemisphere. And they do have local astronomers and meteorologists and all that come and talk to kids, and they do a lot of school groups, and the shows I think are on the hour. So if you are coming into the science center, you can enjoy all of the other activities that they have there, and then buy a ticket to go to the planetarium and do that in between doing some of the other exhibits that are there.
Okay, okay, nice. Talk a little bit about the American Dream. I know it's been a long-awaited project, and you've got to be really super excited to see that launch. And I know it's part shopping, but also part attraction as well.
I am sure that a lot of people have heard that the American Dream Mall in the Meadowlands at MetLife Stadium is now open. It's been a long time coming. It had switched hands and now is part of Triple Fi, which is the same company that did Mall of America.
Okay.
And the attractions have opened before and after us being in and out of quarantine, but the attractions are now open. We have Nickelodeon Universe, which is an indoor amusement park. There's tons of roller coasters. There's one that you can even go to the top of it and you can see the skyline in like a 360 view, and then you go back down. You know, it's very exciting.
Awesome.
They've opened Dreamworks Waterpark, which is an indoor water park. It's the picture that you're looking at, actually. Tons of water slides. It has a wave pool. It has cabanas that you can rent for the day. You can have parties there. There's so many options for what you can do in some of these parks. And I think the one that people have been talking about most, and it's called Big Snow. And it's one of the only indoor ski parks, uh, especially in our area, but it's run by one of the ski mountains here in New Jersey. So they give lessons, there's a bunny hill, there's a lift, and you can rent your gear and your outfits and stuff there if you want to go skiing for the day after you're done at the water park or after you're done shopping. You can do that. But a lot of the stores have opened. I know that they're at 99% capacity. Not everything has opened, but a lot of the stores in the area of the attractions that are open are also open now. And I think there's one wing that's going to be like a luxury wing, and that's the wing that's still being worked on.
Gotcha, gotcha. Well, I just think really impressive to launch it during this time period,
Oh yeah.
and especially with in and out of quarantine, and there's also got to be capacity limits. I think it's also really cool. You can do the water park, part of the day, and then
Mhm.
go skiing the other part of the day,
Yeah.
and that's open year round. I'm guessing, right? Because that's indoor.
Yep. You can do it any time of the year.
Very cool. And I would think that those folks that have been to Mall of America would be a little similarities between the two, since it's a similar management company, but probably some different stylistic advantages to the new location at the same time.
Yes, I believe so. And so we've had a line of communication with American Dream the whole time, and I know that they are working on group packages and ticket packaging between a lot of the attractions. So if anybody has any questions about that, they can reach out to me and I can find out because they're still kind of working out those kinks.
Perfect, perfect.
Mhm.
So one of the things in researching Hudson County for this event today is I was really pleasantly surprised at the depth of visual and performance arts that you have throughout the county. Can you walk through some of the options and what groups can expect?
Sure. I would say over the last couple years, it's definitely grown to arts and culture type destination. We have a couple festivals here and facilities that are very noteworthy. I can talk about the pictures that you're looking at. One, the one on the top left there, that's Mana Contemporary. And there are a couple Mana Contemporaries across the world. They house tons of art collections from museums all over the world. They do some local exhibits, but they definitely carry the same type of art that you would see at like the Dia or the Whitney or something like that. They have the same type of exhibits there. And it's really a hidden secret here. There is a calendar of events that are open to the public, but it wasn't always that way. They were a facility that would house art, and now they're doing a lot more public programming. So if you haven't been there in your past visits, I would definitely recommend going there. They also have one day during the month where you can tour the studio spaces, and the studio spaces are just an unbelievable thing to go in and out and see people um, doing live art and to see their materials, and it's artwork in itself, just being able to see some of their collections and how they're
Yeah,
stored.
how fun, very interactive.
Yeah, it's very cool. And I think you can make appointments with them to do tours. So if you're bringing groups, you can I can also share the contact for that if you want to take a tour of the Mana. I think they do it on Saturdays, and it's open for tours then, and somebody will take you on a private tour of the collections that are there. Sometimes not open.
Gotcha. So we should have a contest. Anybody in the audience who can guess whose picture is on that mural in the upper right hand corner. You want to help them out a little bit?
Oh boy, if they don't get it, no, this is one of our favorite murals here, but Jersey City um has started a mural arts program, and actually the Mana Contemporary, which I was just talking about, they have their own mural public arts program. It's not called urban arts anymore, they're calling it public arts. But so the JC map is a website where you can go and see the map of all of the murals that are in Jersey City. There's over 100 now. And I
Hmm.
think Mana in a small area, I think has at least 20 maybe. And so we have an art festival here. It's called JCast. It happens in October. And it's where you can go to all the different performing arts and visual arts places, and they're on a map, and you can look at all those things, and you can see all the murals throughout the city at the same time. And it's really something to be seen, because you would never be able to get to every single location and theater and performing arts place all in the same stop. So that's a really great weekend. It's in October.
I was really impressed by the depth of artists that you've had participate in the program.
Mhm.
And for those of you playing at home, that is David Bowie, one of my favorite artists. So when we were selecting photos, I had to make sure that one made it on there. What else from the visual and performance arts in Hudson County you think is notary?
Yeah, we've had a couple larger venues open recently. So we are doing a lot of musical events, which is nice. We've always had like, smaller venues, restaurants, and things like that that would house concerts. But now we have some bigger venues, which is really nice. And they're continuing to open a lot of venues in this one area in Jersey City, and it's called the Power Arts District, and that's where a lot of the theaters and the galleries will be, and that's very close to the downtown, where you could just walk downtown, and there's rows and rows of streets that have restaurants and bars, and you could just stay localized in that one area. I do want to talk a little bit about this picture here on the bottom left, though. That is from our Holy High Festival, I think 2 years ago, run by this company called Sarati. We have a very large Indian community here. We have a place in Jersey City called Little India, and it's just so colorful, and the markets and the murals and the food that's there, the people. It's just a great place to visit. But this Holy High Festival has grown to about 10,000, I think, the last year that we held it. And it was on a pier in Hoboken. And, it's the Festival of Colors, so everybody is just having such a great time. And there's a lot of food vendors and colors and dancing. And, it's such a great weekend to be here.
You expect that to be on for 2021 at this point, or is it still up in the air?
It actually just passed, so it'll be 22.
Oh, cool. Okay. Okay. Nice. Nice. So, okay. Well, let's talk about some of the dining options. Again, another very impressive aspect I found, partially just with the views, being able to be in Jersey, but at the same time, just commanding views with some of the restaurants that you guys have. Talk about some of the variety.
The pictures of plated options that you're looking at are two restaurants that are in Weehawken, another waterfront town here in Hudson County. And there's so many different options along the waterfront properties, and most of them are, glass wall on one side so you can see the view. So we do have a couple maps of options of restaurants along the water there, and there's a couple rooftops, notable rooftops that are now part of the hotel properties along the water that have bars and restaurants. And you can really sit anywhere in Hudson County and see the view of Manhattan while you're eating. And it's definitely worth doing it just once if you haven't done it. It's a very memorable experience.
Sure.
And we're considered one of the most diverse counties in the country. So if you understand that, you understand how much good food you can have here. And I know that, you can have good food anywhere, and going to a secondary city area like ours, a lot of people would say that, but we actually really do. and it's very high end and it's very noteworthy. So I would definitely recommend just eating on the water here. It's a very unique experience.
Good. Well, just the melting pot of different cultures has got to
Yeah.
create some unique recipes, and the authenticity of that really can't be matched at the first level. So, very cool. And would you say, by and large, group accessibility is good at these locations? I know, sometimes places with a view tend to be a little bit more difficult to get into, but we could usually get groups in and out of places.
I would say there's about a handful. I wouldn't say that you could do it in all of them. We're diverse in that way. Also, we're diverse in like you can take groups to some of these waterfront properties and other are more boutique. So it's more a one-on-one experience, but there's definitely options for everyone. There's a place where you can take groups and see the best views, in my opinion. So
Some of the lunch and dinner cruises.
yeah, speaking about that, I was gonna say you could take a group on a hornblower cruise. It used to be called Spirit Cruises, but out of Weehawken, New Jersey, and it leaves out of Chelsea, Manhattan also, but it goes around the island of Manhattan. It's about a 2-hour dinner cruise, and it's buffet style. The food is excellent, and while you're going around the island, they take you very, very close to the Statue of Liberty, and that's a very beautiful thing to see once you're finished with dinner and you're out on the deck and having a cocktail. It's pretty amazing, and you can take pictures at night, and it's a nice experience, a different experience of seeing the statue for sure.
Yeah, I agree. Whether you've done that before or it's the once in a lifetime, it's certainly an
Mhm.
experience that you can
Yeah.
do again and again. And just the power of the Statue of Liberty and being out on the water, it's just a very special way to experience it. So yeah, definitely, I think the dinner cruises or lunch cruises would be very viable options. Wanted to talk about from the presentation. I'm sorry, actually two more things. First of all, is shopping. We covered a little bit about American Dream as both an attraction, but certainly the shopping options there. But I know that's not what you're limited to. So talk about some of the other options that groups have when they come to Hudson County.
Like you said, you can absolutely visit the American Dream and get everything that you need, and you could spend a weekend there and still probably not explore all the options that it has to offer. Like it's sugar. It's like one of the biggest candy stores that we have. It's 3 floors and there's things made of candy, and it's really kind of awesome. What you're looking at here, we have tons of festivals, and really for being bigger cities, we have intimate downtown area in each of our cities, and it's very nice because they all have a type of main street that reflect the culture that lives there, and or in some of the downtown areas we have a very eclectic mix of all the cuisines that you would want. And in Jersey City, we have a row that's closed to pedestrians where you can come in and out and shop and eat and all of that. But I would say Hoboken's a really great place for that. Also, Washington Street is full of restaurants and just tiny boutiques and a unique experience for shopping if you didn't want to have a mall experience.
Right.
We also don't have sales tax, so one of the more popular facilities is the Mills at Jersey Gardens, which is very close to the airport. If you want to stop or you have time before you get on your flight, it's a great place. It's more like an outlet. All of your favorite name brands and stuff would be there, and you could stock up before you get back on the plane.
Gotcha. You need
Mhm.
an extra carry-on bag for that. Well,
Yes.
that is good convenience-wise, and I like the variety as well. I think the American Dream is going to be just as Mall of America is in Minnesota, a major attraction, but adding a little variety in the downtown shopping, the uniqueness and things that you probably won't be able to get other places, and then you add on top of that the outlet mall aspect of the Mills, which again people should be familiar with from some of the locations around the country. So nice variety there, and then the lodging options, and I think that certainly as business starts to ramp up again, and New York City has always been known as a very expensive destination from a hotel standpoint. I think that certainly the options available in Hudson County should put it on the radar screen for more group planners. So maybe we'll walk through some of the different inventory that you've got on site.
Of course, you would want to stay in Hudson County for the view. There's many rooms that have the full skyline view, and there's many different options in a lot of the different hotels to be able to see the skyline and also be able to walk out of the hotel and get right onto the PATH train, be like 5 minutes from Manhattan or 10 minutes on the ferry, which is something that you can't do anywhere else. We do have some of the higher end hotels along the water. We have the W, we have the Westin, we have Hyatt Regency. You're looking at the Sheraton there. But in the last couple years, we've got a lot of boutique properties, and some of the newer brands have come here. So we have a Hyatt, a Hyatt House, and it's the flagship Hyatt House. The rooftop is incredible, and it is in a unique old bank building. They
Oh,
restored
how fun.
it, and it's very pretty. It's at one exchange place, and it's right outside the train also, but it's right on the waterfront, and the views are amazing. And like I said, the rooftop is just breathtaking. One of these other pictures that you're looking at is a new Hilton property. It's called Canopy, and they're a boutique version of the Hilton. And this is one of the first canopies. I don't think there's very many, but that's in the Powerhouse Art District that I was talking about before. So if you're really into, seeing a couple shows and going in and out of the galleries one day or something like that, the Canopy is right in the middle of that arts district and also right by the train.
Yeah, I like the backing of Hilton. That's just a spectacular lobby, and I ended up seeing a few other photos of that property as well. I like the boutique style, and certainly makes groups feel a little bit more at home when they're traveling, as long as the hotel's got enough inventory. But all these different brands that are being developed by the major hotel chains, it's kind of hard to keep up. So I got to admit that the Canopy name snuck up on me when I first saw it.
Yeah. I have to also mention that they have taken um, just a little, we've borrowed a couple ideas from Manhattan, but the chefs in these restaurants, and the restaurants in the hotels, excuse me, are some of the most well-known
Hmm.
people in Manhattan. So the Hyatt House has somebody, a chef from the Ritz, and the Canopy has Death and Company, which is a very famous speakeasy in Manhattan.
Cool. Cool. Well, it's a great way to combine a favorable hotel stay, good location with some of the celebrity or certainly eclectic meal options. So very cool. So Rachel, as we get through the end here and we open it up for live questions, you mentioned a few times during the presentation, reach out for you for information. What's your preferred method of contact? How's it easiest to get a hold of you?
Just through my email is fine. Of course, I'm here to answer any of your questions, and I will be doing a follow-up for anybody who has been here with us today on some of the things that I have spoken about and contacts for groups and some of the facilities that you may want to take your groups to. But if you have any other questions, of course, I can pass along anything that you might need, or you can call me. My extension, even though we're working from home, my extension comes to my cell phone. So anytime is fine.